Hey everybody, thanks for joining me here on this lovely Saturday and with the beautiful Plumbing Bay in the background. Hope that you can see this beauty, natural beauty. It's really hard to describe with words, and I doubt that the camera is giving it the majestic that it deserves. So decided to share my 5 takeaways on a personal finance book by Dave Ramsey. It's called the Total Money Makeover. And I'm sure some of you think, Goran, money is nice, but not everything is money. I totally agree. You shouldn't be thinking about money. But if you want to buy some clothes, you don't want to walk around naked. Yeah, you got to eat something, you got to sleep somewhere. Not to mention if you want to help your family, people as they get old, if you want to help your parents, if their income starts to dwindle, you're going to need some money to help them. Not to mention if you want to travel, if you want to visit beautiful places like this, if you want to do any type of leisure activity, again, you're going to need money. So not to mention if you're starting a business, guess what, when you're starting a business and your business isn't doing too well, you're just starting out, you have barely few clients, how are you going to support yourself? You're going to take money out of the fledgling business. You're going to make it even harder for the business to grow because you're taking the money out of it. You're taking the money out of the business. You have to pay taxes to the local government. And when you're taking money for food, for traveling, for things like that, then you can't spend money on customer acquisition. You can't spend money on marketing or sales. So personal finance is important in many ways. At least in my opinion. If you disagree, you can shut me off the next second. So the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, and the first takeaway would be actually the bad news. I'll just go out right and say it. You are the problem. For you, you are the problem. For me, I am the problem, and this car as well, jumping in my scene. So, but it also means that you are the solution, which is a great thing, bad news and good news. So the good news is you are the solution, my friend. You, as the author puts it, and as I have witnessed it myself, you need to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. This will prompt you to take action. This will prompt you to cut your credit cards in half, do the plastic surgery a little bit, cut the credit cards, pay everything with debit cards, know the difference between a credit and a debit, things like that. Educate yourself and take action. Second takeaway would be, and this is sort of a Dave Ramsey's motto, if you will live like no one else, then later you will get to live like no one else. Meaning, if you what's the word I'm looking for? If you live below your means, if you spend less than you earn and invest the difference, then you will have to probably live like no one else. If your friend buys a new car on a loan, and he buys a flashy Mercedes, a BMW, whatever goes out these days, and you're driving an old pickup truck in the States, or if you're driving an old Fiat where I'm from, it's hard to live below your means, and it's hard to refuse the temptation to buy this car under your what's it called, under your budget, So let me see, third takeaway. Oh yeah, this is a great story that was also shared by Dave Ramsey. The third takeaway would be a story about the monkeys. Some of you think, and I share this science as well, that perhaps we've come from certain types of monkeys. Sure, maybe true, maybe not true. But the point of the matter is, there was this story about the monkeys where they put all the monkeys in a room, and on the top of the ceiling there were bananas, and each attempt that the monkeys had in trying to get the bananas, they would hose them down with water. Literally, the monkey would almost grab the bananas, and the monkey was hosed down with water, and the monkey would fall down. And then he would complain and yak and all that, and then the second monkey would try and get onto the bananas, but again he would fail. And then the third monkey, the fourth monkey, until all the monkeys tried to get the bananas and failed. And then none of the monkeys tried anymore because they realized, they learned that it was hopeless. It doesn't make any sense to try to get to the bananas. And so what they did then later was they introduced a new monkey to the room. So basically, this monkey didn't know the rules and didn't know the pointless attempt of trying to get to the bananas. So here's what happened next. As this monkey would enter the room and he would try to get the bananas, the other monkeys would literally pull him down. They would like start screaming and jumping, and they would pull him down. Like, don't even try, buddy. Just come down here. Come down where it's safe. And the humans didn't have to hose this monkey with the water. The other monkeys would do it, which reminded me of a great story of crabs. Little cancers from the sea. Do you know how they catch crabs? They put this large bowl out of what's it called, the steel bowl, without the what's it called in the English? Jesus, sometimes sorry about that, folks. Have to trouble with the translations. So there's no. Let me see what's down here. So maybe we can get out here. So yeah, this is the view. You can see the Tres Island until I remember how they catch crabs. But anyway, once one crab gets into this bucket without the top bucket, then other crabs start coming in as well, because they see that one crab is feeding, there's some food inside, and so they also get in. So, and once crabs start coming in, there's no coming out, and this isn't because there's no top of it. So obviously crabs can get out of the bucket, and the crabs aren't so different from the people. So once one crab starts coming out of the bucket, then the other crabs start pulling him down and prevent him from going outside of the bucket, and they go so far that they start to tear his limbs off, literally. I mean, crabs fighting crabs, you wouldn't believe it. One crab wants to crawl out and save himself. The other crab says, you know what, you're not leaving me here, we're gonna die all together. So you be the judge if that's much different from the way we folks do. Let's see, fourth takeaway. A budget is telling your money where to go instead of your money saying where it already went. This is actually John Maxwell quote. It's not the author's quote. He quoted John Maxwell, and I really love that quote. I mean, budgeting is everything in personal finance, in business finance, in economy. Budget, this is the amount of money I can spend on food. This is the amount of money I can spend on travel. This is my budget. My money needs to go in this direction, and if it doesn't, it's not good. So a budget, I think, is the first step to financial freedom. Fifth takeaway would be steps that Dave Ramsey advises in liberating your financial destiny. Step number one, get $1,000 to start an emergency fund. So Dave Ramsey thinks that you need to have an emergency fund, $1,000. When this one I loved. Every year you have to register your car, with insurance, and it has to, at least in Croatia, I imagine it's in any country in the world. So you need to take your car to the DMV, and basically they need to confirm that your car is valid, then it can be driven on the road. And so this happens every year, and every year most of the people get surprised and say, oh man, I don't have money for the car insurance this year, gotta get a loan, get a credit card, split the payments in 12 months, 12 payments. Oh, it's such a surprise that, dude, in Croatia, I don't want to film any other people's car here, but in Croatia, on the windshield, there's the date when your car insurance expires. It's in front of your face every day when you sit in your car, and you can't tell me that once it gets it has to be paid, it's a surprise, and it's an emergency, and you gotta grab the emergency money. So that's not an emergency, that's planned, that's budgeting. So that's the other bucket, and the emergency bucket is when your car breaks down, and then it's emergency. And if you have an old car, if you have a 20-year-old car, it shouldn't be an emergency. You know, you should expect that your car will break down because it's an old piece of junk. Second baby step, pay off all debt using the debt snowball. Let's not go into details of the debt snowball, but let's focus on pay all debt. You know, if you have any debt, any loans, any credit cards, take care of it. Baby step 3 to 6 months of expenses in savings. What this means is if you lose your job and you can't find a new job for 6 months, you need to have a cash cushion. You know, if something happens, if you lose a job, if your spouse loses a job, if somebody loses a job, if you lose your means of income, you need to have some money in place for those 3 to 6 months to, you know, get back on your feet. And this has to be in cash. You know, you can't touch it, but it has to be in cash. Baby step 4, invest 15% of household income to Roth IRAs and pre-tax retirement. Now, this is an American thing, so it's hard to give an advice depending on where you're living. You know, if you're in Australia, in Europe, South Africa, South America, you know, it's going to be different. But it needs to be an equivalent of Roth IRA and pre-tax retirement. Basically, something that you'll enjoy in your late 60s, 70s, etc. Baby step 5, college funding for your children. Wow, what a surprise, man. You got kids and then they go into college and then you're surprised and you want to take money out of the what's it called, man, when your brain stops, it's futile. Emergency fund. It's an emergency that your children are going to college. Go figure. You couldn't predict this. So according to Dave Ramsey, college funding for your children. Put every month aside for your children. Once they reach a certain age, they have some money to go to the college. Baby steps 6, pay off home early. Yeah, he even advises to, I have trouble saying it, you know, paying off your house, your home, your apartment, your flat early. And baby step 7, build wealth and give. I see I'm past my timing, so I better wrap this up and say good luck and goodbye, dear friend, for with the Total Money Makeover. The next thing for you to do is shut down this video and start going in those steps. Start saving money. Start once read and advised that you need to start doing some things, keep doing some things, and stop doing some things. So you need to start saving money, start investing money, stop spending money on things you don't need to impress people you don't like, and continue to do what you think that you're doing good regarding personal finances. That's it for me today. I'll give you one last look of the Plum Bay. Hope you liked it, and hopefully you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel and look forward to sharing more book videos with you. Take care.